to call this an extremely what is that word? Unjustifiable inferiority complex, or are we to call this just a further hint that Finral's younger brother is a sociopath? Who knows? You can give me your thoughts. I mean, don't get me wrong. The video is not over yet. I'm just saying that immediately. What do you think Rangel really is? Do you think he suffers from an extremely case of inferiority complex, or do you think that he is just sociopathic? The final chapter is actually so severe that even the Sorcerer Emperor changes a serious style, and even the fact that Asta says, "Where is this ominous magic coming from?" Yes, this is the Black Clover. Chapter 126, we see a little bit more how Finral's childhood had been, and let me tell you, it has not been pretty. His own mother, mind you. Oh, and by the way, I'm in a very sour mood, so expect this video to be worse than it usually always is. But yeah, it's very very good when you're in a foul mood to see an abusive childhood. Because it turns out his mother doted on his younger son because he was everything Finral was not. And he even said it straight to his face. The only one I love is Langris. It didn't matter if it was teachers or if on anything else. Everything Finral did was not enough to the House of Vod. Because Rangels was better than anything, and Rangels was the only pride. In essence, Finral was a loose cannon to everyone in that house. Living like that cannot have been easy. I mean, it's not that. I mean, don't get me wrong. Finral's cowardly moments they got on my nerves a lot. But it has been revealed that while still a coward, Finral can be brave when he wants to. But moreover than that, it's not that he is better or worse than anything. It's just simply because he's kind. Deep down, Finral is just a lonely guy who is kind, and he doesn't want to hurt anyone. Therefore, he did not try as much harder. He didn't have a resolve to try anything harder, and he was completely content of being that way. And we finally see that lady that was hinted. Apparently, the one who's going to be the fiancée of the next house. Her name was Finesse. And apparently, the mother was not shy on admitting that she suffered from a chronic illness. But the only reason why she would be fiancée to Rangel was because, well, she came from a family of strong magic abilities. So yeah, the nobles of the Clover Kingdom, they do get on my nerves. Well, not intermarriage, although it's very likely they also practice that. Marrying off people with strong magic just to give birth to strong magic opponents. Rangel was not exactly so thrilled of having her as a fiancée. Of course, Finral fell in love with her. So in the end, they had a talk with each other, and Finral said that he was not the next head, and Rangis was better than him in everything. But the only one who showed him kindness in that moment was Finesse, because she said, "I only met you a few times, but you are a very kind person. In my eyes, you are the more powerful magic." Of course, Rangel overheard that, and he was not happy about that. I mean, he did not like Finesse a single bit, because he thought she looked dull. But what Rangel heard was basically saying like he had looked down on his older brother his entire life, and he was not shy in admitting that. But then someone who was going to be his fiance, I mean Rangel's fiance, saying that Finral, someone he'd always have looked down on, were the stronger one. He misunderstood that as saying like, "Am I inferior to my brother?" And in a way, Finesse is right. Rangis is inferior to his younger brother. A lot of people are gonna have a blast blasting this comment. But what she's basically saying is a hint towards the power of feelings. As you all know, especially if you watched me and the Dustin Reacts video where we talked about Black Clover, and especially you know, the the power of feelings. We all know that people cannot stop shutting up about it and complaining about it. Watch that video and I'll give you my 3 reasons why people should just shut up and accept the power of feelings. But what she basically says here is that Funeral has something Rengels do not have, and that is a kind heart. And through kind heart, a magic can develop very well. That has been proven. The feelings of your friends and the power of the kindness can make you evolve. It's a bigger determination. For Rangels, everything is just natural and he is sadistic. So he did not take that well. So we're back to the place where everything is, and Rangels prepares to erase the crystal. Of course, Finral um, erases it. And then they have found the crystal to the other team, where Leo and the other enters with the Snow Lady, who turns out to be a snow magic user. And she tries to trap them in a paralyzing snow, but Leo, having learned from the lady's training, managed to create a flaming shield to temporarily get off the magics. Elsewhere, Finral keep on cancelling out his younger brother's space magic. But he knows he cannot do that forever, so he tries a new magic, a homing teleporting magic that actually catches Zeke and teleports him away from the battlefield. And where does he teleport him into? This was a funny scene. He teleported him right into in the can where Jami is sitting and taking a dump. Well, by the way, there is a confirmation. Well, there was actually confirmation a long time ago that Black Clover Kingdom does have toilets. But yeah, Yami is sitting on the can, and the annoying Zeke just appeared right in front of him in the black bowl. Of course, Yami is not pleased when he sees that, so he just says, "Can I kill you?" Finally, uh, final with that, Finral has created a space magic fallen angel flapping wings. He doesn't want to hurt anyone, but he can teleport them away. Having hit this bottom, Rangels finally snaps about his trump card magic and decides to use his Grimoire, creating mini portals that all carries a very ominous and dangerous aura. In the end, he says that he will not lose to a brother who never could win against him. Because he's saying like, "There's nothing I fall behind in." And when he says that, for the first time, the arrogant, smug-looking space magic user's face turns into a face of true madness and psychopathic. And as I said in the before, the faces of the Sorcerer's Emperor and Aster faces now after shock. Yeah, truly. Truly, Rangels do not intend to finish this match. No, he intends to kill Finral. So that's what I said in the beginning. What do you think this situation is? Are we to call this an extremely case of inferiority complex, or are we just to call this a bad case of psychopathy? I mean, we cannot forget that Rangels has many times, even in his debut chapter, mind you, shown that he is not a person of morals. Anything that is in his way, he destroys. And we are to safe assume that this is the same situation. So yeah, what is gonna happen now? Who knows? Funeral showed good a moment. Even though I hate dump jokes, the very fact that Zeke happened in when Jami was taking a can, yeah, that was worth it. Some minor thing there, but yeah, I know Funeral had a bad childhood, but damn, that was a horrible childhood. And that lady, Finesse, it's clear she meant that Funeral can surpass his brother, but mostly because he is kind and he knows the limits. I have a feeling that Rangels do not know the limit of his space magic, and as we have seen before, space magic can become extremely dangerous if it's used uncontrollably. And I have a very big feeling that Rangels cannot control his space magic completely, especially if his mind is as unbalanced as it is now. So what do you think? Give me your thoughts if you have any.